Roberts Automotive and WillisAuto.com.
So, change of plans. We'll be spending the holidays at your place.
Oh, yay. Everyone remember what you're supposed to grab?
We're Santa's little helpers. Some might call us elves, but Santa's little helpers is what we call ourselves. We're Santa's little helpers, and if you want to know, there's nowhere else on earth that we would rather go.
Need last-minute gifts? We've got you covered. Save big money at Menards.
Tonight's episode of Inside Edition will be seen overnight at 2:07 a.m. so that we may bring you the following KCCI special presentation.
In this season of giving, big boxes with bows grab a lot of attention.
It just makes my heart feel warm.
But across Iowa, the most meaningful gifts are not expensive.
I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I'm supposed to do.
They're the time spent this week with loved ones.
You got something to live for when you got family.
They're the traditions that start in the fall.
Oh, golly, I don't even know how many hundreds of cords.
And stretch into the new year.
So, yeah, I still get teary-eyed over the whole deal.
With a payoff that can light an entire community.
Wow, with a capital W.
And the lessons in gratitude taught by the jolly old man himself.
If we can change one kid's life, we've done our job. Right?
This is a season of giving. This is Iowa.
KCCI presents a celebration of the people who make our state special. This is Iowa.
Pick a neighborhood anywhere in our state right now and you can find thousands of twinkling lights making the shortest days of the year a little bit brighter. Most of the time they do a pretty good job of making people smile. But in this first story in our This is Iowa trip around the state, we're headed 3 hours northwest of Des Moines to LeMars, where Christmas Acres is massive, but the impact is even bigger. December days are short. But just minutes before the sun sets,
Like I said, you got the jitters and the butterflies.
Rob Scheitler's as nervous as a kid on Christmas Eve.
Oh, it's an energy that you can't describe.
Because at exactly 4:42, energy flows down his driveway to the North Grove and to every tree in sight. Lights clicking on as others inch up the gravel road because they've been watching Rob's creation come together.
Oh, golly, I don't even know how many hundreds of cords.
Since August, when the Plymouth County Christmas lover dropped his first drop cord as the state fair was still serving corn dogs.
It's miles and miles of electrical cords. Walmart loves us when we go to Walmart.
Plenty of people budget early for Christmas.
Our electric bill runs about $300 to $350 more a month.
If Rob's snowman village wasn't lit with LEDs, his bill would be as astronomical as the emotions he shared more than a month before Thanksgiving.
When you actually have grown adults standing in your driveway crying of what we done, that's why we do it, you know. So, yeah, I still get teary-eyed over the whole deal.
Because no one will accuse Rob Scheitler of having the fanciest Christmas display in Iowa.
Oh, if they're dinged up, they're faded, they got scratches, that's vintage. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I want.
But by November, it becomes obvious Rob means business.
So we are right now the largest outdoor country Christmas display in what's called this tri-state area. And people drive hundreds of miles and several hours just to come here one way.
So when the calendar flips to December and that sunset glows orange, so do 800 plastic faces. His old bear pops out. And a village of inflatables stretch. Christmas Acres is coming to life. Just minutes before those cars and the kids in them
It does.
show up to the display best seen from up above.
You got miles of cars in a line waiting to come down the highway to come through it.
It just kind of, with all the lights, just takes your breath away.
When Rob Scheitler built his home 25 years ago, he wired it specifically for a Christmas display.
We never prepared for what we have today.
250,000 lights showcasing 800 old blow molds from attics and barns, street pole decorations from towns wanting something newer, and so much Christmas nostalgia.
It's a labor of love.
That's
moms and their kids drive from hours away to soak in Christmas acres.
And I love how they still have the manger with like baby Jesus and everything, not just Santa Claus, so everything.
It's just, who would have ever thought? We never dreamed of this. This was never our intent, but this is where we're at today.
But even more amazing,
hello there. Here, have another one.
Is what appears at the end of Rob's driveway.
He loves to make people's Christmas.
You see, 8 or 10 years ago, the guy giving out candy canes
thank you.
kept getting visitors who wanted to pay his light bill. He kept refusing. They kept insisting. So he compromised, setting up a spotlighted donation box. In January, he took a trip to town.
Wow, with a capital W.
To visit Steve Kolder, who had started Christian Need Center.
There's no cost for anything. This is all donated clothing. And so we give it back.
A free store where Iowans like James can take anything they need.
Find a decent pair of jeans. They always, especially at this place here, is really nice too to help people out in need.
In the last few years,
it's over $100 worth of food.
Director Susan Van Driel has seen a lot of need.
It's hard. I had a lady here just, she's about 70, did not want to come here, but she admitted that she was sitting in the dark.
Most walk in wishing they didn't need help.
She was literally crying, did not want to be here. She said, this is not. And I'm like, well, that's what we're here for. I told her you need to come here.
But when Rob walks in, he brings joy.
Thank you so much, guys.
Oh, I do. This time of the year, just knowing what we're doing for people in need.
And a check.
Last year it was up to $40,000.
Visitors to his lights covered the center's entire light bill, payroll, and overhead for the whole year.
Yeah, it lets us operate here.
And there was enough left over to cover unpaid lunch balances at every school in the area.
That's the way it is. You know that. You're in Iowa. When we need something, we've got our neighbors to count on, and that's what this is all about.
3 months of setup, a month of crowds surrounding his home, and another month to take it all down is a lot.
It is a lot, it is a lot, but it's 100% worth it.
Because of the joy Christmas Acres spreads.
You can just tell how much hard work he's put into it.
Oh yeah, he's passionate about this.
And the light, it shines.
I know what we do here does for so many people. And that's the fuel that keeps us going, night after night.
And Rob would love to make Christmas Acres even bigger. So if you have any of those old blow molds to donate, or if you just want to look up the hours or address, you can go to Christmas Acres on Facebook. But for more holiday traditions, we're headed to the church basement.
Every time I think of this, I think of Grandma.
Where corn's not just a side dish, it's a marker. And 3 generations don't come here for the prizes. But first, we're headed to the NICU.
It's an emotional roller coaster ride for those parents when they're in there.
Where a 10-year-old, born smaller than a pop bottle, keeps coming back every December. And later,
Merry Christmas, everybody!
A lesson from Santa on the importance of giving.
You okay?
It hurts.
Be careful, all right? No, it really hurts. When you go to the doctor and they don't believe you're in pain because of the color of your skin. Why is that still happening? I don't want him growing up having to deal with that crap. But with Oscar, he won't have to. They pair us with doctors who believe us when we say,
ouch.
Oh boy.
With Oscar, a dedicated care team helps you find doctors you can trust.
It's the holiday season once again, and last year was different for all of us. But this year we decided to decorate, celebrate, and gather again as a family. Penny and I hope that you can celebrate with all your loved ones and enjoy your family traditions. This has been another great year at the Carl Auto Group, and we're so thankful for all of our great employees and customers.
From our family to your family, thank you and
Happy Holidays!
Oh.
Bethlehem, oh come and behold him, born the King of angels. Oh come, let us adore him.
Central Iowa's morning meteorologist, Jason Sadeko, helping you plan for the next 12 hours.
We'll keep that chance for some snow as we head through the morning hours,
along with a team that gets you going. Weekdays on KCCI 8 News This Morning.
Nobody wants to spend the holidays in the hospital, but plenty of parents have spent their first Christmases as mom and dad's here. And that's why one family has made it a tradition to drop off a basket of handcrafted joy for the next generation of preemies. Every year on her birthday, Joanna Strong and her parents celebrate.
It's a big day, double digits.
By making a special trip to the hospital.
It was definitely a roller coaster ride.
Joanna had a bumpy start to life.
We went in for our regular 28-week appointment, thought it was just going to be good news given to us, but quickly the doctor shared with us that he didn't have any good news for us and that we needed to get downtown immediately.
Born at 28 weeks, Joanna weighed just 1 pound, 4 ounces.
Her foot was like the size of my thumb.
For some reason, she had stopped growing. So doctors decided an emergency C-section was the only way to save her.
She said the good Lord was watching after you today, and I don't think that your baby would have been here a few more hours if she wasn't taken care of today.
So fragile, Joanna fought for her life in the NICU.
I remember one nurse telling me she's awfully tiny, but she's oh so mighty.
Mighty enough to finally go home after 125 days.
And they were like, how does it feel to be your last day in the NICU? And I just screamed. I was like, oh my gosh, let's go, let's go.
Now a decade later, Joanna is happy and healthy.
It just makes my heart feel warm.
Gentle reminders of those first few months now hang on the family's Christmas tree.
Joanna's outfits every day was a different hat. She wasn't allowed to wear clothing. In case something catastrophic happened, they would need quick access to her chest. One day I was just looking through everything and I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I'm supposed to do. Red with what?
White.
With each stitch, Lindsay weaves together memories of the past and encouragement for the future.
I feel like it's so important to make them feel warm and comfortable in a very difficult time.
Maybe like a navy blue.
Joanna helps pick the patterns and colors, and they deliver them together.
So good to see you.
Seems like yesterday.
Oh my gosh, right?
There is no better way to thank the doctors and nurses who saved you.
I still remember you coming in the day she was born, and it was like, oh my gosh, what a whirlwind.
Than by giving back to help the babies they're saving now.
We just wanted to share them with you. And
thank you very much.
I've got a few different sizes.
It's a really difficult time for parents, as you know, and
yeah.
Something just as simple as this brings a smile to everybody's face.
Yeah.
And the fact that it comes from somebody that's been through it, I think it just gives them hope, and
for sure.
I think that's fantastic.
This is more than just a reunion.
She has grown up like a 10-year-old girl, It's always gratifying to see.
It's a chance for doctors to see their impact.
It's an emotional roller coaster ride for those parents when they're in there, and a lot of them go through some really significant difficulties, and that sort of emotional impact, especially when it's this time of year, stays with you. A lot of those stories stay with you a long time, and then when you see them, it brings it back.
What grade are you in? 5th grade? 4th grade.
Nurse Rachel Evans snapped this photo of Joanna 10 years ago. Today, she's putting Joanna's hats on these tiny patients, a simple act of kindness that gives their parents hope.
It just cheers them up a little bit, makes them think, oh yeah, there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Now every year, on December 6th, Joanna and her mom spread that light with gratitude.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Totally appreciate everything you guys have done.
And it's not just Christmas. Joanna and her mom are very involved with a nonprofit Holding Tiny Hands. The group helps support families with babies in the NICU.
It's almost time.
This is it. This is what we work all year for. This right here.
Feel the hugs this big man in red gets during his lesson to Iowa second graders. But first, bingo.
We get the family all together and we have a good time.
What happened before the first number was called? Planting a seed that's still growing.
This is surgical residency. I see a lot of weaknesses.
My father and I disagree about a lot of things. Here's what I see. Inspiring and brilliant doctors. Let's get to work. Dad, I understand that you want to go back to a time where you were in charge and dinosaurs roamed the earth.
Ouch.
But things change. Guys, whose phone is it?
Unprofessional. Oh, it's me.
Sophia Bush is Good Sam. Premieres Wednesday, January 5th on CBS.
Homemakers Outlet is your one-stop shop for budget-friendly furniture and mattresses. Located inside Homemakers, HM Outlet is the place to find the latest trends for your home, all brand new and at affordable prices. And most products are in stock, so buy it now and take it home today. Or with a minimum purchase of $4.99, get free shipping statewide. For a quick and easy shopping experience, stop by HM Outlet and find hot new looks at fabulous prices. Shop Homemakers Outlet in-store or online today.
This is a growing corn plant. It's not battery-powered. It doesn't have a 300-mile range, but it's vital in our fight against climate change, reducing 46% of carbon emissions compared to gasoline, and producing clean-burning ethanol, a fuel for 98% of the vehicles on the road today. Corn ethanol is the climate solution we need now.
Weeknights at 9. Get the facts that will impact you.
We have new information tonight.
A forecast you can plan around.
Continuing to charge east overnight.
And what's next in your neighborhood.
Tomorrow in your morning commute.
From the team of journalists who knows Central Iowa best.
We're going to stay out here and keep you guys updated.
Stay informed about today and be ready for tomorrow on KCCI 8 News at 9 on MeTV Des Moines. Weeknights from Iowa's news leader.
In Korea, it's a Hawkeye state.
Let's be serious.
Put yourself in a Hawkeye state.
Laughter is the best medicine.
With MASH, weekdays on MeTV Des Moines.
As this year ends, we at KCCI are celebrating the 40-year career of Dana Carden, our longtime assistant news director who actually started out at KCCI in this job as our feature reporter in the 80s and 90s. So we asked Dana to share one more of his Eye on Iowa stories that takes us to Grundy County.
Every Christmas, there is a migration. They are called from their big cities, called from their suburbs, from their sun-drenched beaches, from their snow-capped mountains. They leave their jobs and the busy malls behind to begin a journey to a place they call home. It's a journey of faith, a journey of family, a journey of tradition. This is the story of one of those traditions. It takes us to the small Iowa towns of Parkersburg, Amplington, and Stout, to the home of the Kolder family Christmas. Every year, the extended Kolder family, young and old, returns from far and wide to keep the Kolder family Christmas tradition alive.
It's just so great to have everybody coming. And we usually try to get most everybody coming on Christmas. And to be able to have this so that everybody can see each other because we're all so far apart now.
What about, do you want any of these little hot dogs? Okay.
The Kolder Christmas is always heavy on food, strong on faith.
Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this time once again. Lord, I just thank you for the...
And the Kolder family Christmas is always about...
Everybody's got cards and corn and that type of thing right now. We should be ready to roll, Tammy.
G, 47.
Bingo.
B, 8.
It all starts with, Albert and Lydia.
Albert and Lydia Kolder, Grandpa and Grandma.
Probably 30, 40 years ago, we started out having a little bingo, and it caught on, and we did it every year since, and we get the family all together, and we have a good time.
Grandma loved finding bingo stuff and playing bingo, watching the family together.
Yeah. We
Oh, 75.
For hours, they listened to the numbers, They mark their cards, all while laughing, catching up, and sharing memories.
Tradition, memories. Every time I think of this, I think of Grandma.
They've always taught us to do well and what to do right and to love one another, and that's what we do.
47. I. 20.
There you go, Mariah. Bingo.
Bingo.
Yeah, go that way.
Everyone here knows that this tradition really isn't about bingo or collecting the prizes when you win.
I think it brings us all together. It's been real good. You got something to live for when you got family, so.
It's about family and faith and tradition. That bridge between the memories of the past and the promise of the future.
Grandma loved the family together, and this was one way she pulled everybody together.
I think it's another learning process, the next generation, and that they'll hopefully carry this on too.
With the last numbers called, the last prizes picked up and packed up, it is time to go. Time to return to the cities, to the suburbs, until the next journey, until the next Kolder family Christmas.
In the 70. 70.
Christmas shopping can be stressful, but it can also...
34, 45.
Is that good?
Yay, 35.
teach a lesson. Hold on tight. We're chasing 120 kids through the aisles for an experience he calls...
the most wonderful day in the world in our book.
Starting at 5, KCCI shows you what's next.
From life-changing decisions in Washington
to the new changes down your street.
I think it's the new face of America.
KCCI 8 News and the CBS Evening News. Weeknights starting at 5.
The holidays are a time when you can tell people how you feel. Maybe you want to say, sorry I binge-watched that new season without you. Or, thank you for always shoveling the driveway. Maybe it's, thanks for lending me your half-inch wrench for the entire year. Or if you need, let's change the subject. This holiday season, let Iowa Lottery scratch tickets do the talking. Plus, right now, all non-winning holiday tickets are eligible to win $100,000. Woohoo!
Ready, sing joy to the world.
Powered by Extreme,
where lag is gone for good. Hey!
'Tis the season for giving, family, and not to mention all the decorations. Enjoy them all by bringing in the season at Jolly Holiday Lights. With over 100 light displays, Jolly Holiday Lights is sure to warm the hearts of kids from 1 to 92.
And speaking of kids, proceeds from the event go to Make-A-Wish to help bring the dreams of Iowan children to life. KCCI and Hy-Vee are delighted to once again support this festive tradition.
So spread some cheer and visit Jolly Holiday Lights now through the end of the year.
In a year of restarts and new beginnings, thank you, Central Iowa.
For your resilience.
Family is more important than any of this here.
Thank you for helping us get back together.
And giving us something to cheer for.
Thank you for welcoming me to Central Iowa.
Thank you for helping feed the hungry.
Helped raise over $520,000.
And making sure that kids have gifts under the tree.
Thank you for sharing your story.
And for trusting us to be Iowa's news leader.
This time of year, every guy with a big white beard gets kids excited. But for 30 years now, one Iowan in a red suit has used that attention to teach a lesson before dropping a pre-Christmas surprise. It's a surprise we've been in on for decades.
School buses rarely run on Saturday mornings, especially ones loaded with second graders.
Look like you're just waking up, come on.
Who know only part of what's to come.
Juice or milk?
Juice. The full breakfast with eggs, sausage, and...
I don't know what these are called though.
French toast sticks isn't a surprise, but that man in a red suit?
This is it. This is what we work all year for. This right here
is.
Merry Christmas, everybody. How you doing?
Because breakfast,
All right, you guys, we got to line up to get going.
is just the first course.
All right, you Deever with me.
121 kids invading Walmart would be chaos.
How you doing?
Without that Santa watching.
Merry Christmas.
And 100 adults.
So this is for Grandma.
Teaching today's lesson.
These kids are learning to shop for their families. It's not about them.
Every second and third grader from Des Moines' Studebaker Elementary got an invitation to show up with a list.
I know what they like.
To shop for those they love.
My grandma, my brother, my grandpa.
Because kids know who'd want Candyland.
Across a game of sweet adventure.
And that Grandma Jody
I found it. Right here.
has a sweet spot for Diet Coke.
Yes, but she is in a wheelchair, so people will have to take her around.
She'll get her case because Morgan and every kid here
I will need all my fingers for it.
has a $75 budget.
35.
Is that good?
Yay, 35.
Because that guy in red had a dream.
Teaching them it's better to give receive, and it's not what you get, but what you give.
Back in the 80s,
why not take some kids Christmas shopping?
Ken Deever planted the seeds for his Rooftop Foundation. He even took kids shopping days after his house burned to the ground in 2005.
You're the one?
Huh?
They got the house burnt down?
Yeah.
Oh,
But
sorry.
All the reindeer got out,
Sorry for hearing that.
He's a wonderful man. Does a lot of good.
Hello.
It's now a $30,000 a year effort to build self-esteem
¿Te tiene que poner el jacket?
and teach giving.
It's good to give. It feels good to give, and I think that's really important.
If we can change one kid's life, we've done our job. Right?
It was kind of fun and exciting.
Good job. Perfecto.
The officers and teachers who served as elves
Hey, you did a wonderful job.
still can't believe strangers would pay for this entire day.
There's not even really words to describe it.
Because in some families, giving this much just isn't possible.
The blanket is in here.
We love our kids so much. We care about our kids, and to see other people in the community that love and support our kids, like, that's amazing.
This is what makes it special. It's a wonderful day.
But even they didn't know
We got a little surprise out here for everybody.
the payoff waiting around the corner.
These are your gifts. Those are all of those yours.
Because those little givers
You bought for others, but now these are for you.
left with a lesson
Too heavy.
almost too big to carry.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
It makes it the most wonderful day in the world in our book.
So if the stress of the holidays has you feeling overwhelmed, remember the power that comes with shining a little light in your neighborhood, the warmth your challenges can have on a stranger, the importance of the ones you love, and the feeling you get from giving. As we turn the calendar to 2022, we want to thank you for sharing your stories with us. We can't wait to share more of them next year. I'm Eric Hansen. This is Iowa.
For over 80 years, Iowa State Bank has embraced new technologies that offer convenience and security and allow you to bank on the go. Really good at the things that count.
Family fitter, bath fitter, style fitter, bath fitter, you fitter, bath fitter. We install beautiful tubs that fit perfectly over your old one with no mess or demo. Get the bath you want in a day with quality that lasts a lifetime. It just fits. Bath fitter.
Call right now and pay no interest for 24 months. Find out why Bath Fitter is the perfect fit.
It's the final days of the Ford Get Holiday Ready sales event. Your last chance to get the best deals of the year on Ford F-Series, America's #1 selling trucks for 44 years straight. Only a few more days to save on our full lineup of Ford SUVs. Hurry in, it's the final days of the Ford Get Holiday Ready sales event. Get 0% for 66 months and $500 bonus cash on F-150, plus no payments for 90 days with Ford Credit. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Before the day can begin, you need to know what the weather will be. You need Central Iowa's morning meteorologist, Jason Sadeko. He'll keep you ahead of every weather change.
We'll keep that chance for some snow as we head through the morning hours,
helping you plan for the next 12 hours and on track for your big plans.
It's looking like the absolute perfect weekend.
Central Iowa's morning meteorologist, Jason Sadeko, along with a team that gets you going. Weekdays on KCCI 8 News This Morning.
Our town belongs to us. We can't hope for safety. It's our job to deliver it. Chicago PD.
Fridays at 7 on My Des Moines.
Get the Storm Team 8 forecast weekday morning.